green. I guess it's gonna be green. No more.
Welcome to the podcast. I just started recording. Where are we coming from you? Where are we coming to you from? Do you know? You're not going to talk because I started recording? Okay, well, Jeff is pouting, so I'll tell you. We're at Lake Apopka, Alligator Central. We're down here, so if you hear, it's a frog. It's not an alligator, but Jeff believes it's an alligator, but it's not an alligator. That is not an alligator either. That's a bird. That's what he thinks is an alligator. It's a frog. So when you hear this, leave it in the comments. It's a frog. Or maybe a bird. It could be a bird. Are you going to talk yet? This is going to be a long, boring podcast for your listeners who are tuning in to hear what you're going to say because you're taking a fit.
Into the thick of it.
There we go. He's up and talking now. So how was your week, sir?
Good.
What happened exciting this week?
Oh, wonderful rehearsal.
Really?
Wonderful.
Hold on. Look in my eyes. Mm-hmm. What happened exciting this week?
Since the 7 days in a week.
What should be number one?
That rehearsal was absolutely brilliant.
Wow.
But before the rehearsal, can you not bully me into my...
No, I will. Listen.
Oh, it was your birthday. Yes. Yeah, you had a great birthday.
Go, shorty.
Yeah, it was a great birthday.
You're supposed to say it's your birthday.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, yeah. But great birthday. Good.
Wasn't it so good?
Yeah.
We're going to talk more about that later, but I just like to re-birthday acknowledge.
I mean, for real.
That it was my birthday, and it was fun. And the last time y'all heard from me, I was 43, and now I'm 44. It's so crazy that I haven't been podcasting that long, and it's been that long since you heard from me.
Wow.
That was a total dad joke. That's like a joke that my dad would say. My dad, he does the thing like, you know, on not Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. Uh-huh. He'll be like, well, I love you, but I ain't going to see you till next year.
What?
Yeah, because it's one day. Yeah.
Okay, I can't relate.
My daddy's funny now.
Okay.
You've met my daddy. He's funny.
Okay.
You don't think daddy's funny? David, Jeff is publicly saying he don't think you're funny.
Okay. But the other thing happened during the week was I was very happy about the rehearsal. I was so happy. Yeah.
Yeah, that was big. I didn't stress out this time though.
Yeah. I was ready to rehearse because, you know, with COVID and everything of that nature, just to be able to make music and have people that are excited to sing and just to work and just to like bond, that was awesome. Then we had on one side, you know, children's choir starting at UCF, and that's exciting to hear all those.
Oh yeah, because you started
there.
You started 2 choirs yesterday.
So
I forget because I just live in Winter Garden.
No, yeah. And so then and then having also the UCF Community Choir with Dr. Miller over there. I mean, over the other side of town. That's exciting. And you know, she reconnected with some of her former students, and then Ashley and Courtney is doing their thing with the children's choir and seeing those little babies. You know,
I saw that on Instagram. I wanted to smack their daggone faces off.
And then being in Winter Garden and just getting back and reconnecting and seeing so many wonderful people just coming back and just going through some fun repping. So it was a good day. It was a good week. Birthday.
I like the location you're at now.
Me too.
I ain't gonna lie. I really like it.
Me too. It's just, you know, I feel like we're central. It's getting back to the roots, what make, you know, the Winter Garden Community Choir, Voce del Corte coming together, and we're just building community. So it was great. It was great having Dr. Terrence Lane there with us, and from...
He's the accompanist, right?
Yeah.
He was so good.
From Bethune-Cookman University. And also, he's incredible. And then, you know...
That was in the board meeting tonight. Somebody actually said, which I thought he was great.
Uh-huh.
And I ain't music-y.
Right.
But somebody who is music-y was like, man, that dude killed it.
Yeah, you know, he was my freshman brother from my days at FAMU. So I've known him.
So you went to school together?
Yeah.
I didn't know
I've
that.
known him since we were freshmen in college at FAMU.
Well, I tried to give him music last night when he walked in, and he goes, I'm the accompanist. I was like, my bad. I guess you already have got this. And he goes, we'd be in trouble if I hadn't.
I mean, that's
It's like, okay.
You know, just beautiful soul, hard worker. I mean, how, you know, he plays incredibly, and he's even a better person. You know, he's just, you know, so it's great to have. It was just a great evening, you know. So,
you know the only problem I had with that evening?
what?
So for those who don't know, I'm a non-singing volunteer. Me and 4 other women, like, help out. And now that was Gator.
See you next time on Red and Green the podcast. Bye.
You so dumb.
I ain't playing.
But the only problem that I had was that I was real tired. It was long, and it took a lot out of me.
Really?
Yes, because I got excited.
Oh,
and then I also learned that old buildings have grates like New York City, like AC grates, and they give me high anxiety.
Oh.
So I have to, like, high step around them.
Mm-hmm. You know, that church is beautiful. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's been there since, and this is the First United Methodist Church of Winter Garden, and it's been there since 1895.
Okay, historian.
So, you know, it's an incredible history in Winter Garden. And so just to be in that space again, I wasn't there in 1896, but I'm just saying. It's just
You know, I know. I mean, like, you know, one of the things I love about you, you sat there just now and you were like, you know, it's amazing. And you know that this church has been there since 1895. And I think, what history of Winter Garden do I know? And it's like the quadruple homicide that happened in the furniture store on Dillard Street.
Well, see, that's what you did.
And literally, I kid you not, this morning when I was on my way to work, I told Tarek, I drove by that way because I was going to Starbucks. Mm-hmm. And I go, you see that right there? And he was like, that building, it kind of looks like 1970-ish. And I was like, yeah. I said, you should Google it. Furniture store, murder, Winter Garden. And he went, on Reddit? And that's my child. But I read it. I read it, but not on Reddit. That was a pun, and I didn't even that was just a bonus.
Okay, so as I was saying, okay.
You know
and
what?
back to our regular scheduled program.
That was the regular scheduled program.
Okay, so murder on Reddit. There you go. No, but it's like I said, it's a great, you know, it's a great church, and just to have the opportunity to sing in that space. And that'll be the home of the Winter Garden Community Choir in Boise Del Corte. It's like, okay, we're in the central area, but I want to give a shout out also, you know, to the Ropers and how they allowed us, Becky Roper and that wonderful family of Ropers that allowed us to use the ballroom last year during COVID, and you know. And so their family,
such great people,
yeah, great family, and their family, you know, and so I'm so appreciative of that, and just the support of the Winter Garden community to continue to do the things that we do.
Yeah, so, Becky does the Winter Garden Theater, right?
Polaris, but she was on the founding board. Her mom, the family, dad and all that stuff right here, you know, was part of that group that helped refurbish, you know, the
we should have Becky
theaters.
on the pod sometime.
Oh, that'd be great. She'll do it. Say, come on in, Queen. Let's talk.
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
I'll text her or email her.
Right.
Or Charlie.
Charlie's, yeah, that'd be great too.
That'd be funny. What was the other thing that we had to say that was like a housekeeping thing? I told you we had a housekeeping thing.
I have no idea.
Why don't we write things down, Jeff? Why don't we write things down?
The awkward silence.
I know. Hold on. I'm going to pause it. Mm-hmm. Well, we have determined that there was no housekeeping, that it was the week previous, and Christy's brain sometimes hurts her feelings because she thinks one thing and then, oh no, where's my notes? Oh, I shoved that way under my thigh. I thought I had lost that sucker. I was like, let it be in the swamp. Guess what? The podcast is over because my notes are in the swamp. You hear it? That's my crinkle paper. I said the swamp. It's a lake. Wow. Why did you just run?
Pause it.
So we had to make a brief pause because I tried to be cool, but a bat about hit Jeff in the head. And he took off running. And, it was a worthy run.
Exactly. I don't play those games.
Listen, bats got like rabies and stuff.
What?
I mean, or something.
I don't.
And their poop is toxic.
Okay.
It's called... There's a name for it.
I don't care.
No, there's a name for it. I was going to share my knowledge, but I forgot my knowledge. So anyway, let's talk about what we're going to talk about. You know what I want to talk about?
What?
My birthday.
Okay.
And you know why I want to talk about my birthday?
Why?
Because I want everybody to have a birthday like my birthday was. Awkward silence.
Okay.
But no, I literally had the absolute best birthday. Mm-hmm. And I was so honored by my girlfriends. So on Thursday night, for those who don't know, you're making loud sounds. Well, take two.
I mean, really.
I'm mad now.
Why?
Because we lost everything.
No, we did.
So we're now recording this 2 different places because we just recorded a whole podcast and we lost the whole thing.
Technology.
Okay. Okay. So now we're totally disorganized. I feel totally all over the place because I did not.
It's okay. Lock and load.
It's fun. As I said in the previous episode, the Lord don't want, or the devil don't want this one published.
Yeah. You sound so
Country.
Country.
Well, he blocked it. You got hit by a bat. Now we lost a recording.
That's okay.
Okay, so let me backtrack because I don't even know what I've told you people and what I haven't. First of all, bat poop is called guano. We had to come home because of the bat.
Okay.
We're going to talk about my birthday.
Yes.
And all of my lessons from my birthday.
Yes.
We're not going to be mad that the technology failed me.
Yes.
We're going to work through that.
Okay, let's go.
Listen, and you're like, I'm not that mad.
I mean, really, I'm not. We're good.
These things make me lose my mind.
That's why we balance. Because I sit there and say, do it again.
And I'm saying, I did it already.
What?
I don't want to do it again. Anyway, it's fun. It's fun. So. That was real life mean. He just tried to give me a pep talk and we just had an argument.
No, you had an argument with yourself. I didn't participate. I just think you was crazy.
It ended with this phrase. Cardi B went out in like 2016. I told you.
Whoa, Nelly. I just look at herself. Okay, she's had an argument with herself.
Anyway, I'm just frustrated.
That's okay.
It's fine though. Because maybe this is the way it's supposed to be and it's supposed to be better.
Yes.
Sometimes I preach positivity. It's a hard pill to swallow.
It's always hard to practice what you preach, but you just got to do it.
It's not always hard. But right now in this moment, it's hard.
Oftentimes, it's hard to practice what you preach.
I'm struggling with it right now. Because right now, I want to cry. Because of all the technical difficulty that we are having. It's fine. It's not a big deal.
No, it really isn't. We got this.
Okay. Anyway.
Y'all should have saw the look she gave me, y'all. I literally just agreed with her. She said, it's fine. I said, yeah, it really is fine. And she looked at me like, a deadpan. I'm like, okay.
Well.
That's hilarious.
I'm the one who talked the most. So I feel like I poured out my heart and soul once. In the original, I don't want him to have a recreation of my emotions. So I'm just trying to channel to make sure that I can give them a proper Christy Greenberg perspective.
So you just said a whole lot to say, I don't feel like doing this again.
Basically, that's what I'm saying.
what you said.
Basically, that's
That's a long way to say, I don't want to do this anymore.
Well, anyway.
Let's roll.
Okay. So what I want to talk about is my birthday.
Okay.
Because my birthday was amazing.
Good.
Super amazing. Me and my girlfriends went to the sugar factory.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so great. I had so much fun. And I felt so honored and important. And, you know, I think I said in the last podcast that I had wanted to have like a shindig since my 40th birthday. And I was just never able to. Started with Hurricane Irma. And then it kept going and going and going. And so this was the first time I had like a birthday celebration in, to be honest, I don't know how long.
Right.
But I had planned one when I was 40 that got squashed. So to sit there with my best friends and be celebrated and honored in the ways that they did it just blew my mind, and the sweet things that they said to me. And, you know, and let me give you a shout out too, though, sir. You helped make that whole thing happen because I don't drive at night. And you picked me up so I didn't have to drive in the dark. That is a real MVP right there.
I'm just trying to help out.
I know, and I appreciate it because it doesn't go unnoticed. So thank you.
You're welcome.
But, you know, the things that they said to me and how they showed up, it was a Thursday night. Mm-hmm. Everybody had to go to work the next day.
Right.
You know, like, they took time from their families, from their children, you know, paid a babysitter, whatever, to come and sit with me and celebrate me for my birthday. That's such a giving act.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
it is. It is.
Oh, it was just such a beautiful thing to me. And I cried like 17 times. Not really 17, but literally like 4. While I was there. Mm-hmm. I kept crying. Because I was emotional, because I was grateful for those people.
Well, you deserved it, so.
I love that you say that I deserve it. Like, thank you for saying that. Mm-hmm. But I struggle with that because I don't think I deserve it. I think I'm just normal.
But the thing that you have to understand is right here, and I get it, and I respect that. That being said, any of us, podcast world, anyone, we don't know our impact on other people, so we don't know how they want to celebrate us. So therefore, even though we may feel like we do not deserve it, we haven't walked in their shoes to see how we have enlightened, helped, or inspired someone else. So.
I mean, that was a great use of adjectives. Your grammar game is on point today.
Thanks.
I mean, that's true, but when it's you, it's overwhelming.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I can sit there and say, like, I agree with what you're saying, but when you're receiving it, it was literally overwhelming to me.
Right.
Just like, I was just so grateful. Literally so grateful.
But the thing, and that's great. I'm glad you're grateful because remember last week we talked about the ego. Mm-hmm. And then you look at those conversations where they said about the ego. What you did was, one, you thank them. You also see your own unworthiness. And it keeps you grounded. Mm-hmm. It keeps you, there's one thing to sit there and say, thank you. And you know what? I do deserve this. And you better give it to me. Well, then that's an ego issue that we really need.
Yeah. And
so there's a balance in that.
There's a lot. We didn't talk about this in the last one. Maybe this is what happened. This needed to come out. There's a lot of people today of I deserve this, and this.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And this is all that I'm going to accept. Mm-hmm. Because this is what I deserve.
And I think we've all been there at some point in our life.
I mean, I hope I haven't.
Me either. But I just assume that just because you live life, you may have gone down a path you didn't realize.
Yeah, I mean, I hope not.
Yeah.
But, like, there's memes about it. Memes about, like, if a man can't pay for my nails and my shoes, he better get to stepping. That was such a bad one. I don't have one in my, but you get the idea.
Yeah, I'm like, what?
I see stuff like that, and it's like, why? Why would he do that? What are you doing to make him want to do that for you? What are you giving them to where they want to give back to you?
There's an old thing I used to tell my students, and it's about creating the environment. Oftentimes you want something, but are you creating the environment to inspire someone to do those things?
Right.
You know, it's like
Okay. So what I mean is that, well, all relationships are tough at times. Everything's tough at a time. But
right.
in the whole, as a common denominator, I would say relationships are not tough as long as both people are working on it. If one person's working on a relationship, that'll kill you. You know, if you think about like having a couch or a big long piece of plywood or something, and you go try to pick it up by yourself, it's cumbersome, it's heavy, it's awkward. But then if I take you to go do it with me,
it'll make it lighten the load.
Right. It makes it a lot easier.
Yeah. What makes it like we lift the weight. Gotcha.
Right. Together, it's two people together that just makes it easier. But on the show Friends, do you remember when they were moving the couch? Ross's couch, and he's like, pivot! That show. That's a thing, like, Ross messed up there, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Like, in the relationship couch scenario.
Because he didn't say which way to pivot.
Right.
Yeah.
He just was barking orders, but not giving actual direction and saying what he needed them to do. So they got stuck in a hallway.
Right.
And I think that is so fitting that, you know, if I need you, I'm going to be funny, but if I need you to tell me I'm pretty, and you keep bringing me lunch, I'm not telling you what I need. I'm not getting what I need. Yeah, I'm screaming pivot. And that can cause a lot of arguments. And I mean, that can cause arguments between friendships.
Yeah.
You know, in a friendship, I'm not one who goes out a lot. I really don't.
Okay.
I'm not comfortable, as we just kind of said, I don't drive at night. Especially in an area I don't know. I will like around Winter Garden, but like, if it's an area I'm not familiar with, I don't drive at night.
Right.
Or try to not, if I can help it.
Yeah.
That could come across like I don't want to be around people.
Yeah.
So it's important that I communicate to my friends that, like, this is something I'm not comfortable with, why I'm not, so they know that it's not me not wanting to be with them. And that it's a comfort level that I have.
You know, and the thing about it, and I want, if I can just pivot and talk about your friends from that, and this is coming from the outside looking in, and based off of what you just said. You know, it's like, you know, you talk about your birthday and how the girls, you know, did all these wonderful things for you. But based upon that, it's also the environment that you have created with your friends. It's like, as I told you before, when I think about your friends, and it's funny, in podcast land, it's like they're like the Suicide Squad. I mean, the level of loyalty and cutthroat they have to each other. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else on the outside, you mess with one, you mess with them all. It's funny, but, and you like Harley Quinn of the group. But the whole thing about that is, how did it get to that point though? That's the, you know, it's basically, you know, what you said. You have literally, you guys have been there for each other, but you've also set up your expectations. Hey, I don't do that, but I want you to know I want to be there. You know, and so I think that is also, you know, powerful. Another thing, again, I'm on the outside looking in. Another thing that I noticed about your friends is that all of you have different job titles and probably different levels of success within your world. What does that tell me? And it's something, you know, that I read. You are not your successes nor your failures. In other words, your relationships with your friends is not based upon, you know, successes or failures. It's who they are. But that's a very powerful thing. Oftentimes, people say, oh, you're that person that, oh my goodness, you're that person that I saw you here. You're not your successes. But you're not your failures also. And, you know, and therapist talks about that also. You know, in therapy, they talk about it. You're not just, you know, who you are, but you're not that and you're not that. Right. And so that being transferred, that being said, you're able to develop this healthy friendship. A friendship not out of perfection, because everybody butt heads and so on and so forth. But there's a healthy level of expectation based upon what you and the others have established for each other. And I think that's powerful. So you're not your successes, you're not your failures, but you're there for each other.
Right. Well, and I think that there is value in friendships and having those, even at this age. You know, I think that, you know, I've talked before about I almost said their name.
Yeah.
That would have been awful.
Yeah.
About the one friendship that I had that really hurt me, that just like ghosted.
Yeah.
And I look back into it now, and I do see that it was very one-sided. It was very takey.
Mm-hmm.
And because I'm a fixer, I'm a fix-it personality.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to help. I had the best of intentions, but had I been healthy, I'd have walked away at some points.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have said, you know what? And I'm not saying that, like, at times that we all are going to give to other people at times than what they can give back.
Right.
But when you're doing it for 5 years, that might be when you want to be like,
yeah,
is this what we're doing? Okay. Because it might not be the best thing for you.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, the other thing, and I love this about my little cronies, don't compete. Don't compete with your people in your life.
Right.
If you know, Michelle makes 6 figures or goes to a hair show as a master stylist, and Tamara goes to Disney and becomes the manager of a bibbity bobbity boo salon, and Crystal becomes the head banker, and Jen gets her next belt in Lean Six Sigma. I succeeded too.
Yeah.
Like, I succeeded too. And I celebrate every success that my girlfriends have, because they're part of my life. That's a success for me. If they win, I win.
Yeah. Why? But why? Because you see, you have a friend that's healthy. You have a friend that have clarity, that, you know, that could help you if you need help. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So there are many different benefits to that, and where you guys are just sort of organically supporting each other.
Well, and I think the same thing goes too, like that can go in relationships too, because I think that partners can get jealous of each other. Spouses can get jealous of each other, of their successes, especially like if I know I almost said in my previous life.
I was about to say,
when before I was reincarnated as Christy
and
Greenberg.
I'm like, and
totally
this podcast is over, and I mean more than the episode. Red has dipped on green. Bye. Don't play that one.
He's so stupid. So, but previously in my life, I was a stay-at-home mom when my oldest was little, and I felt jealous every time my husband had a success. Because I did not see, like, the toddler walking as success. I mean, I know it was now.
Right.
But in the moment, in the trenches of it, I wanted outside praise, outside people saying yay, not realizing that the toddler walking, that I would see that 20 years later as being, like, one of my biggest successes. You know what I'm saying? But... And I did have resentment. I started getting resentment because I felt like I was not appreciated. And I think that's where it comes into the thing of whether it's your friendships or your partner, you feed love and support into that person. And I'm not saying love bomb them all day, every day. And I'm not saying, but if I come and say, hey, I'm struggling with this, you know, I'm covered in toddler vomit. And you're getting like these big fancy promotions at work, and I feel like a troll. Well, the partner or the friend or whoever needs to hear that and say, you're not. And here's what you're doing. And then you breathe life into that person. But you have to be able to communicate and say, be humble enough to say, I can't, I feel bad about me because of something great for you, and it's a total me thing.
Yeah.
and have that conversation.
You know, the ego can work both ways. The ego can work in, I've accomplished this, so I'm this. Or the ego can work in how you talked about. You know, I'm jealous of that. I don't see my child, you know, walking as. But if you step back from it, you realize it's all a success, but it's not who you are. Mm-hmm. You're not your successes, nor are you your failures. And that's when we were talking last week about the ego. That's part of that whole situation that we all got to work through. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's the one thing that we've talked about and trying to do. I can't control nothing outside of my environment at all. I do my best to only focus on what's right in front of me. And that's one thing that the pandemic taught. You know, I don't know if this podcast would have birthed out of the pandemic if we didn't go through the pandemic.
Right. Yeah.
You know, so there are so many terrible things about the pandemic. Absolutely. Loss of life and, you know, and so on and so forth. But there are certain things that happened from the pandemic that forced
our hands
to say, okay, you know, because when you sit in comfort, it's not mean that you're comfortable.
That's true. I mean, a lot of times comfort causes seclusion. Comfort causes distance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Staying comfortable actually can many times alienate you from everybody.
Yeah.
Staying comfortable can give people a wrong misconception as to who you are.
Yeah. You know, and sometimes the most dangerous thing is being alone with your thoughts because your insecurities tap dance all on them. And that can be dangerous sometimes because then you can create scenarios that are not scenarios.
Yeah, well, and that's when we go back to the thing of everybody, we are strongly in support of mental health and therapists.
Yeah.
We have therapists.
Yeah.
We believe you should have therapists too.
And I think we both have great therapists. I like my therapist a lot. You like your therapist a lot. You know,
They are not the same therapist?
Oh, no, they're not the same. No, they're not the same.
I felt like we needed clarity
on
really?
That. I'm not even thinking about it. No, they are not the same therapists at all. So
I do my therapy sessions via Zoom. You go in real life?
Yeah, and she's incredible. Absolutely incredible. And you really enjoy yours also.
Yeah.
You know, and so my therapist.
But I've went through more therapists than you.
No, I think this was my first one. It was like, I got it. The first time I was just lucky.
Yeah, my first one was good. Mm-hmm. And then that season ended.
Right.
And then 3 and 4, or 2 and 3 were not. Great therapists, don't get me wrong, not great for me. Like their style was not for me. So don't be afraid to fire your therapist if you don't like them. Find the one that fits you.
Fire is such a strong word.
Well, I mean, no, firing is just that you don't need them to provide you that service anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, my therapist is more so. First of all, it takes courage to go to a therapist because it's so taboo. It's so taboo. You know, it's so.
I think that's more our generation. I think the younger people it's more open. I think us.
Right. It's just, you know, something must be wrong with you. No, everybody needs to be in therapy, even if things are going correct.
I can guarantee you, there's something wrong with you.
Well, no, listen.
If you breathe, then there's something wrong with you.
I mean, right, but even if things are going right and you're in a great headspace and you're in go to one because it reaffirms, you know, what your thoughts are, you know, or say you may think about going a different direction. It gives you things to talk about. See where you are. You can be as vulnerable as you need to be, you know, and then say, okay. And so mine is really good.
And I mean, let's be honest. We all have things that no matter how much we love our friends or our partners, we don't want to tell them. You know what I mean? Like you don't want to. You don't have to. That's why you have a therapist. It helps.
Right.
Love it. There was our mental health plug.
Yeah, for real.
So the other thing I want to bring up that I think it was a showstopper to me that made me go, wow, is that we all are the center of our own world. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And when you sit there and you see things happen to other people, it's like, wow, but it's still, you're the center of your world and you will be until the day you die.
Right.
Like you are your focus. Everything from your perspective. So if you write a book right now about your life, you're the main character, right?
Right.
But in everybody else's book, you're a different character.
Yeah.
In Michelle's book, I'm the trusty sidekick.
Yes.
You know what I mean? In your book, I'm the podcast partner.
Right.
And that you relate to Harley Quinn.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
But in Michelle's book, I guarantee you it wouldn't be the Harley Quinn.
Really?
It would be the Southern girl willing to do anything for her hair. She
True.
would focus more on my accent.
She is the Harley Quinn. She would be your Harley Quinn.
She's my Harley Quinn.
I mean, for real.
Yeah, I mean, she comes out with a baseball bat.
I mean, with barbed wire on it. It's kind of crazy.
No, like she really would.
I mean, I believe you. It'll be barbed wire wrapped. I was like, it's life ain't that stop.
I love you, Michelle. I know you listen to this. I love you. I'm not trying to say that you're mean because you're the kindest, sweetest person I know. I'm just saying you will throw blows. That's all. That's all. And we're okay with it.
Disclaimer, not chocolate.
Don't ever change. Yeah. We love you.
Right.
But she's going to listen to this and be like, what?
It's that beautiful fierce, it's the fierce loyalty.
Right.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, everybody, you know, and then like the lady from choir, she'll see me as the young girl who was friendly to her and hugged her when she came.
Right.
She ain't gonna see me as Harley Quinn. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's a total different person in everybody's story. You're a total different character.
Exactly.
Some people's, I'm the villain. I wonder if they'd make my eyebrows.
And you're really not a villain.
No, I know I'm not.
You're not a villain.
But I mean, that's like if you watch Wicked or the villains really were never villains.
Well,
they were misunderstood.
You have a song. You have a strong sense of right and wrong. You have a very strong sense of it. And you're not afraid to call it out if you think it's wrong and fix it. But you also have a strong sense of this is right, and I'm not going to let you attack people because you don't. And that's courage. You know, that's courage. You're not going to do that unless you do this. You know what I'm saying? If this is the game we're playing, so let's play it all the way. Or let's not play it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I do that.
And I think that's powerful.
I do it all the time.
Yeah, I know you do.
I mean,
with anything.
Yeah. Because that's the only way things are resolved.
Yeah.
Like if you sit there, let me tell you something that I'm very passionate about. I'm going to say the word, and it's not a dirty word. I don't mean it in a bad way that people take it now. But I'm a feminist from jump.
Okay.
I think a lot of times you say feminist and people think that like I'm crazy. All I think is that men, women are equal.
Okay.
That's it. Equal work, equal pay, equal opportunity. Make it to where it can be an equal playing field. I don't believe in people using anything that they have to put them a foot ahead. Like, for me, judge me on my work, not on my great hair. You know what I'm saying? Like, know me for me as a person, regardless of gender or skin tone. Know me for my work ethic. Know me for who I am. And I'm going to own my garbage. So what I can give as an example, I work for Geico. I am a girly girl. Very much a girly girl.
You worked for Geico.
Okay, gotcha. Back in the day.
Yeah.
And the Geico outfit, the standard outfit, was khaki pants and a polo. For auto damage adjusters. Because I was an auto damage adjuster. I don't do that. I don't like polos. At all. Or khaki pants. So I dress like I dress.
Right.
And my manager at the time allowed me to do it. Like, he never really argued the point because he was like, this is not the thing I'm going to argue with you. You bring good numbers.
Right.
I'm not going to argue this with you because I know what you're doing well.
Right.
And he was able to look over, like, the Nirvana t-shirt with the pencil skirt and heels. And while I walk through body shops in heels, because I can do my job well, whether I'm walking around in heels or in tennis shoes. Because what I have on my feet doesn't affect it. It's what's inside your brain, what you communicate, and what you give out. If I did that every time I went somewhere,
Bambi.
I might get great low severity when I'd go into shops. They might undercut it because I could bite my eyelashes.
Right.
But that doesn't show anything as to what I really am.
Gotcha.
Own your stuff. Be good at what you do. Make good choices. Don't victimize yourself. Own your choices in your life. If you're mean to somebody, own that you were mean. And move on from it. You were mean to me 30 minutes ago because I about cried because I had to re-record and you were trying to snap me out of it.
I was not mean.
But I have forgiven you because I'm good.
Okay.
I'm humble. But you get what I'm saying, though.
Yeah.
On a serious note, like, if you can communicate your garbage to the people around you and just own it and know that you're not perfect. I'm not saying that gives you free reign to be a crappy person, but, like, don't be a victim of your own choices. Just own your choices. That's a whole different mindset. And the second that you can do that and say, hey, you know what? I did this and it came across wrong and I'm sorry.
Right.
Okay, cool. Do that in your friendships. Do that in the relationships with your people. Do that with your boss. You know, one thing I will never do, I told my boss this the other day. You will never hear me not say, oh, I'm so sorry, I forgot. I will always own a mess up.
Right.
We're going to mess up.
Yeah.
And when you mess up and you forget something and you just tell it, rather than trying to cover it, don't ever try to cover it. If you mess up at work, just tell them.
Right.
I'm going to fix it. Fix it now. You better fix it. But don't try to cover it. That's not good for nobody.